my fish tank leaked 20 gallons of water onto the floor. Also, I've already shot this entire video, but it was almost completely out of focus. So I would say my day is going as planned. Scams. One time, I got scammed out of a bunch of Bitcoin, and it got stolen from me. But seriously, I'm terribly alone. You have to be careful out there. In the past, I've detailed a wide variety of websites claiming to sell fursuits at low, low prices. White Fedora reached out to me in February? Oh, God. Telling me about some ads on YouTube for some sketchy furry websites. Sounds like a fun time, right? That's what I said. So, you know what that means? It's time for me to rip on these rip-offs. Also, is the social media manager for Skittles a furry? Are Skittles furries now? If somebody could please explain that to me, I'd appreciate it. So the first website I want to look at is shopmascot.com. But believe me, this is the tip of the ice cube. Shopmascots.com. They have a few suits that might look familiar. A few of these I remember from the first video I did, and a few I know from having just seen in general online. Come on, you did not make that. You're not fooling me. Stop it. Stop it. Take the website down. Take it down now. This one is wearing a convention badge. Do you think they take these suits out, try them out on the town to make sure they work properly? The irony here is they have a little DMCA protection certificate on the bottom of the webpage, which is really funny because it's basically there to remind you that you shouldn't steal from their website because it's copyrighted. Their website is copyrighted. They don't want you stealing from their website. This is pretty par for the course when it comes to websites like these. But this next one is really where it gets, wow, real interesting. It's called TRex Mascots, and it has all sorts of suits that I actually haven't seen ripped off before. This one I do recognize actually because I contacted the owner of the suit in my first video, and they said that their suit was in fact handmade and not created by some random costume manufacturer in Jiangsu. I think I'm saying that right. We're just gonna go with it. Of course, you know, this pink suit is always on these sites, always the same picture, but the rest of these I haven't seen before. I'm really glad that they're innovating a little bit, you know? If you're gonna be around, you might as well try to make it as good as you possibly can. My face is right up in here, and my camera keeps just recognizing the wall over here. Is there a ghost back there? Ah! They have watermarks on all their pictures because they don't want somebody to take their pictures and re-upload them. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
Anybody who would do that would be horrible. Wouldn't that just be the worst?
For the people who aren't familiar with this, these websites, they take pictures of people's fursuits and they just post them online and pretend that they'll sell you this fursuit. Well, actually, a lot of money, a lot of freaking money, but a relatively low cost in terms of a fursuit because these things are expensive because typically they're handmade by someone and it takes a long time. And of course, if you were to buy one of these suits from one of these websites, what you'd get would be nothing like the picture. Obviously, to be clear, if you have a suit or costume or something that looks like this, I think that's great. If you're happy with it and you didn't get scammed in the process of buying it, that's awesome. It's just that for $300, you could get something a lot better, probably. Just looking around on Dealer's Den, there's all sorts of heads that have sold for, like, really reasonable prices. Wow. I feel really bad for people who have purchased from companies like these, and I feel bad for the people whose designs have gotten ripped off. And it all begs the question, what are these companies? How many people are falling for these schemes? It must be a lot if they can afford to, like, be ripping off all these designs. If you go to the About Us page, the address they have listed makes no sense. It has the street name, not the street address. No number. It implies that if you show up to this random street in California, there's just gonna be like a guy sitting on the side of the road with all these fursuits and he'll sell them to you. I guess, I don't know how it works. When you type the address they give you into Google Maps, it just comes up with a Kmart parking lot, which is the sketchiest thing I've ever seen. But I discovered something even more interesting when I looked up the Who Is record for TRex Mascots. So whenever you buy a domain name, there's a record of various bits of, you know, info about who you are, when you bought the website, all this stuff. And according to that, and this is all publicly accessible, the domain wasn't registered in California, but Jiangsu, China. Who do we know from Jiangsu? Shopmascots.com. I need to go deeper. If you Google search the phone number listed on the TRex Mascot website, you get another website that comes up called Mascot Park that lists the same exact number on their website as their contact. But the weird thing is, that place has a different address. And wouldn't you know it, the address they list is for a 7-Eleven in San Jose. Where's the furry park? Is it all a lie? We have discovered a major conspiracy. The Mascot Park website actually has a category for plant costumes, and as enticing and thrilling as a plant sona sounds, I am absolutely horrified. But you won't believe what happens when you type in the address listed on Mascot Park to Google. Another website comes up. This one called Joy Mascots. Don't you see? It's all connected. It's been connected this entire time. Shop Mascot to TRex Mascot to Sun Mascot, which is actually connected to Rex Fursuits, and Rex Fursuits is connected to RexMascot.com. But if you go to RexMascot.com, it actually just redirects to Joy Mascots. There are dozens of different Fursuit scam sites, all connected. And it goes beyond Fursuits, because Sun Mascot shares a phone number with this other website called VUHeart.com, which sells Kigurumi, and the address they list leads to just a random residential apartment in Maryland. What in God's name is going on? Pretty clearly, the company that runs Shop Mascot seems to have set up a bunch of different websites. And I guess what's really interesting about that is if you were to purchase something from TRex Mascots and publicly complain that this doesn't look anything like the picture, this isn't made very well, it doesn't look like the picture, did I mention that? It doesn't matter, because they have a dozen other sites that look exactly like it, only with different branding. When I started this, I thought I was going to be making fun of some websites that rip people off, you know, it's a nice fun thing. But this, I don't even know what to make of it. It's beyond anything I thought possible. This is the largest, most horrifying conspiracy ever since... Oh my God, has my light not been on this whole time? This is the largest conspiracy I've ever seen. I guess the biggest question for me is how many people are buying things from these websites. You would assume nobody is, but it has to be a decent amount, right? Like, if they're going through the effort to make all these different websites, buy phone numbers, find fursuits to steal the design of, advertise to furries, kind of disconcerting, I'll be honest. But just remember, all right, fursuits are basically always custom made, right? So a website that offers to give you a fursuit someone already has is no good. You should stay away from that. But if you've watched this far, you must have passed out while sitting in front of your phone. I'll call someone for you. Hello? Is anybody in here? You know what? You should watch some of my other videos. I just did one where I made a 3D printed Legoshi Lego minifigure. It's a Lego Legoshi. I really want to thank my Patreon supporters. You're such a big help. Big help. I'll see you in the Telegram chat. Be sure to stick around because in the next video, I'm going to be stealing PR Wolf's fursuit by cutting off a small piece, you know, like a small little bit every day until the entire suit is gone and he won't even notice. Please don't tell him.